Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back. This is Ramadan TV. It's great to be with you, and we do hope that you're enjoying the programs that's being rolled out in the holy and Mubarak month of Ramadan. And Alhamdulillah, we do hope we'll keep you company through this month of Ramadan. On this show today, Ramadhan Inspirations, we're talking with Debbie Cockrell. She is with the Bosmont Community Greening Project. Really interesting and exciting project that she's talking about. And I think if communities throughout South Africa do get involved or initiate such projects in their own communities, as I've said earlier, what a beautiful country won't we have, alhamdulillah. More from Debbie Cockrell, and let's talk about community involvement. It's well and good for a handful of people who are very passionate about what they do. They put, they're all into it. But if you don't get buy-in and participation from community members, it ain't going anywhere.
And this is one of our biggest challenges, Julie. I think it's so important for us to recognize that there needs to be a huge mind shift within our communities where, I suppose we're a little bit skeptical based on our history. You kind of want to see, will they do the job? Will they be consistent? So these are indeed some of the challenges that we're facing around getting our community members on board and involved. We've looked at a couple of different options and ways to do this. One is through WhatsApp groups where we communicate with residents who have come on board to assist and get involved, or at the very least keep their ear to the ground around what we do. We also have initiated a Green Times, which is a publication headed by, I'm sure you know the name, Ferial Hafaji.
Oh, absolutely.
She did a workshop with our team last year, and she's very much a previous resident of Bosmont as well, a graduate from CJB. So she's mentoring and coaching a team around how do we find opportunities through publications to educate, to share stories, to share some positive stories around what is happening in the community, and then certainly with a focus on greening.
I've come across a couple of your projects and I've truly been amazed, very particularly the one entitled Women in Woodwork. Tell us about that and how exactly did that upskill and empower women? And are those women now possibly gainfully involved or employed?
Okay, so what was really exciting about that is we had launched around July last year, and we're looking for an opportunity to really get the word out, get a little bit of excitement going around greening. And one of the ideas was to host several workshops, of which the Women in Woodwork workshop was. And then what was very critical for us at that stage was really to look at how do we engage what currently exists in the community. And one of those was a family-owned business, 3 generations. And they were offering to host the Women in Woodwork workshop for us. And one of the members within their team was part of our volunteerism team, said he'd love to do that for women in our community. And so we sort of combined it around how to build a succulent planter box and use all the, heavy tools and just, figure out how to put a little piece of woodwork together. And it was a very, very successful event. It was a very cold day. I was there myself learning how to use power tools, and we managed to get the sun coming out and managed to complete our woodwork boxes. And it was an incredible empowering feeling for every single woman that was there that day, just to feel that, woodwork is not only for men as we often would do, but that we could make something beautiful to add into our gardens at home. No, go ahead.
All right, coming back to the project. Earlier on, you spoke about 2 unemployed youth in the area that have joined you and are learning lots of skills in the process. Let's look at that issue, and also about education, about unemployed, disenfranchised youth who see you working in the area, who see a lot of planting, etc., going on, happening, and they feel there's money being spent possibly in an area in their minds that is not needed, whereas they could do with that money to feed themselves. How do you address those type of disparities in the type of work you do?
So I think it's such an important thing you mentioned around education. Education is the tool that we can use to change the world, and empowering ourselves with skills is part of that. If I look at, for example, where Anissa joined us, she joined us on one of the cleanups. We've been developed into running a pilot program at the Bosmont Primary School where we've started a garden in collaboration with another organization called Afriponics. And they've come to teach us some skills. You know, we don't know all the things, so we're learning as we go. So our entire team has been part of a workshop. We've been part of establishing a food garden. And the idea behind that pilot project is really to use it as a showcase opportunity that we can learn skills that can help us to feed ourselves. That's such an important part of that mind shift that we were talking about earlier, where instead of being reliant on somebody giving something to you, we can empower ourselves to utilize the resources in our space, whether it be, a 2x2 piece of meter piece of land, or a backyard where you've got some buckets or bags that you can use as grow bags. That's part of that skills development that we're referring to. And so our entire team was involved in that in the March month, where we went and learned how to prepare the tunnels, start a food composting heap, very, very important part of food gardens, and then coming into how our community can get involved with that. Another partnership we have is with Bokashi Brand, and that's a local business as well. And they really have an incredible product which allows you to manage your food waste within the home. So this again coming into mind shift. How do we take simple little habits that we have every day and convert them into climate action, environmental awareness? So Bokashi is a product that we are in partnership with, and through this product we're able to take our food scraps, our food waste that we use every single day, your peels, your leftover mealie carbs, whatever the case may be, and create a little compost system in your home. This is so important for us when it comes to how are we changing habits of our youth? How are we empowering ourselves with behavioral changes around looking to the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years when we know that the price of food is going to skyrocket even more than it currently is?
Absolutely. Youth and upskilling, very especially regarding growing of their own food. That's a huge opportunity. But then you might get pushback regarding where's the land available to do that. Are you thinking of introducing pavement gardens in the area, or are residents a bit scared that they'll be attracting vagrants? That's the one issue. And of course, we're talking climate change, we're talking issues around pollution of the environment. The other very big issue is the single-use plastics that are truly polluting the environment in an unimaginable way. So let's look at those two very important issues that can and will make the right impact if carried through.
So very important, as you've mentioned, Julie, for us, we've had to be quite strategic in sort of implementation. Unfortunately, we don't live in suburbs where you can have those wonderful concepts around pavement gardens. Certainly in the long run, that's where we are definitely headed towards. But what we've sort of chosen to do is rather to partner with a school. The idea is to partner with all the schools in the community. We've got 5 of them in Bosmont alone. But you've got to start somewhere. So we've started with Bosmont Primary. They've allocated a piece of land to us. This area is fenced in, which provides a little bit of safety to what it is that we're developing. Vandalism is a real issue in our community. So we can't be ignorant to the fact that these things are real and that they do impact us. So partnerships and collaborations are very important. Sharing skills, sharing space, sharing resources. This is how we're going to effect change. We might have the willing hearts. Somebody else might have the resource. Somebody else might be able to put in a shovel, a watering can, whatever the case may be. Everybody gets to play a part. And in that way, you bring in that unity around community, is really recognizing that together we can do what we need to do in order to create that change.
And may you and the group, which is the Bosmont Community Greening Project, grow from strength to strength. Long may you live. And I hope and pray that we see this being replicated in other communities throughout South Africa. Thank you indeed for being with us on the show this morning.
Thank you so much, Julie.
And there you have it, Debbie Cockrell, Bosmont Community Greening Project, talking about the amazing work that's being done in the suburbs, rather in the townships. But that does not say that those of us that live in suburbs should think that this doesn't affect us. I think impacts on each and every one of us, and together you and I can hold hands, join people like Debbie and her group, and start making a real difference. And on that note then, on a very green note, it's time for us to wrap up. Thank you indeed for watching the show this morning. Don't forget, we'll be back with you tomorrow morning at the same time with another segment of Ramadan Inspirations. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful Ramadan. And as I've said, till tomorrow morning at the same time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum and Khudafiz from me and the rest of the Ramadan Inspirations team.